She never thought it would happen like this. Not like this. At first it was just silence, nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe you were busy. Maybe you needed space. Maybe you'd come back just like always. But days turned into weeks, and something felt different this time. There was no late night call, no text asking, "How are you?" No sign that you were even thinking about her anymore. That's when it hit her. You were gone. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, entirely. And that's when the panic set in. The regret, the late night scrolling through old messages, the rewatching of your videos together, the desperate wish that she could turn back time. But time doesn't work that way. And neither do you. Because this time, you are never coming back. And she knows it. She feels it. And no matter what she does, she can't escape it. The love she took for granted is now a ghost, haunting her with everything she ignored, everything she overlooked, everything she thought would last forever. But you've moved on, and nothing eats a person alive more than knowing they lost something they will never get back. This is the brutal reality people face when they take someone for granted. They don't realize it until it's too late. So why does this happen? Why do people only appreciate something when it's gone? And how does Stoicism prepare you for this moment, making you stronger instead of bitter? Today we're going to break it all down. But before we begin, if you find value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. 1. The psychological blow of realization. At first, she doesn't feel it. Not fully. The mind has a way of protecting itself from pain, tricking itself into believing everything is fine, even when the world is already crumbling beneath it. She wakes up and reaches for her phone, just like she always does. A quick glance at her notifications. Nothing. No message from you. But that's okay, right? Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're just taking your time. Maybe you'll text her later. So she pushes the thought aside. She goes about her day, filling the silence with distractions. Music, social media, shallow conversations with friends. But something is different. Something is missing. She feels it in the quiet moments, in the empty spaces where you used to be. She catches herself unlocking her phone without thinking, opening your chat instinctively, only to stare at the last message, the final words you exchanged. Still no reply, still no sign of you. That's when the questions start creeping in. Did I do something wrong? Is he upset with me? Maybe he just needs space. Denial. That's the first stage. She tells herself you'll come back, just like always. That this is just another rough patch, a temporary distance. She convinces herself that any moment now, she'll hear that familiar notification sound, see your name pop up on her screen, and everything will go back to the way it was. But deep down, she knows something is different. The second stage, waiting. She starts checking her phone more often, waking up in the middle of the night, unlocking her screen, scrolling through your old conversations, searching for a sign, a moment she might have overlooked. She starts replaying memories in her head, every laugh, every touch, every deep conversation, and suddenly those moments seem so much more valuable, so much more meaningful. Funny, isn't it? How the things we once took for granted become priceless when we realize we'll never experience them again. Then comes the third stage, panic. Now the silence is deafening. The absence? Unbearable. Days pass, then weeks, but still nothing from you. And it finally begins to sink in. This isn't temporary. This isn't just a break. This isn't just space. This is the end. And when that thought settles in, it hits her like a truck. Her mind races back to every moment she ignored you. Every time she assumed you'd always be there. Every text she left unanswered. Every call she let go to voicemail. Every time she pushed you away and expected you to come running back. But this time, you didn't. And that's when the regret kicks in. The deep, soul-crushing realization that she had something real, and she let it slip away. She starts asking herself the hardest questions. Why didn't I appreciate him when I had the chance? Why didn't I see how much he meant to me? Why didn't I fight harder to keep him? The regret is unbearable. It haunts her at night, keeps her awake as she stares at the ceiling, rewinding the past over and over again, searching for a way to undo what's already done. But here's the cold, harsh truth: there is no going back. She can cry, she can apologize in her mind, She can wish for a second chance, but it doesn't matter. Because you're already gone. And nothing eats a person alive more than knowing they lost something they will never get back. She'll try to fill the void with distractions, new people, temporary attention, forced smiles, but deep inside she knows none of it compares to what she had with you. Because when something was real, when something was rare, when something truly mattered, you can't replace it. And that realization will haunt her forever. 2, why she thought you'd always be there. She never thought you'd leave. Not really, because deep down she always believed one thing, that no matter what happened, no matter how much time passed, no matter how many mistakes she made, you'd always be there. It wasn't a conscious thought. It wasn't something she said out loud, but it was there, buried beneath every careless action, every ignored message, every moment she dismissed. She had certainty that you weren't going anywhere. And certainty? It breeds complacency, the illusion of permanence. See, humans have a dangerous habit. We assume the things we love will always be there. We assume the sun will rise tomorrow. We assume our loved ones will always pick up the phone. We assume that what we have today will still be there when we finally decide to appreciate it. And that's exactly what she did with you. She assumed there would always be another conversation, another chance, another tomorrow where she could say the things she never said. She thought she had time. But time, it doesn't wait for anyone. And now she has all the time in the world, but no you. Why she took you for granted. She didn't mean to take you for granted. She didn't wake up one day and decide to push you away, to ignore your effort, to stop appreciating the way you cared. No, it happened gradually, slowly, like a slow fade, so subtle, she didn't even notice it happening. At first she was excited. She cherished you. She valued you. She laughed at your jokes, appreciated your presence, and looked forward to your messages. But over time, comfort replaced effort. Your good morning texts became expected. Your kindness became routine. Your love became background noise. She stopped seeing you, not because you weren't there, but because she got used to your presence. And that's the most dangerous thing about love. When someone gets used to you, they stop valuing you. Not because you changed, not because you became less, but because they forgot how rare you were, and so she started treating you like an option. She replied late, canceled plans, prioritized others over you, thinking you would understand, thinking you would always be there. She thought you'd wait forever, but forever is a lie. The wake-up call. It's funny, isn't it? How people only realize what they had when it's gone. Now every place she goes, she feels your absence. Every time she picks up her phone, she notices the missing notifications. Every time she laughs, she wonders if you would have laughed too. And it's in these quiet, empty spaces that she finally understands what she lost. But by the time she realizes it, it's already too late. Because you're not waiting anymore. You're not checking in. You're not there like she assumed you always would be. And that's when it truly hits her. She lost something real, something she should have valued, something she can never replace. And worst of all, it was her fault. 3, the pain of watching you move on. Nothing prepares a person for this moment. She thought she was hurting before, when you stopped texting, when the silence settled in, when regret started eating away at her. But that was nothing compared to what's coming next. Because now, she has to watch you move on. And that pain, it's a different kind of torture. Seeing you happy without her. At first, she doesn't believe it. She tells herself you're just pretending, just trying to make her jealous. That there's no way you've truly moved on. Because in her mind, she was special. She was the one you wanted, the one you cared about, the one you always came back to. But now she sees you out in the world, smiling, thriving, living. You're not sad. You're not broken. You're free, and that hurts more than anything else. Because it means she wasn't as irreplaceable as she thought. It means you didn't sit around waiting for her. It means she miscalculated everything, and now she has to live with it. Social media, the silent reminder. She told herself she wouldn't check. She told herself she wouldn't stalk your profile, wouldn't scroll through your pictures, wouldn't go looking for signs of you moving on. But temptation is a cruel thing. And so one night, maybe after a drink, maybe when she's feeling weak, she breaks. She opens your page, and there it is. A new post, a new picture, a new life that no longer includes her. Maybe you're out with friends, maybe you're traveling, Maybe there's even someone new. But whatever it is, you're not suffering. And that breaks her. Because now she's drowning in regret while you're out there living. She scrolls through the comments looking for clues. She overanalyzes your captions trying to read between the lines. She checks timestamps, friend lists, anything that gives her insight into your new world. The world she's no longer a part of. And each time she does, she feels that knife twist even deeper. Because every sign of your happiness is proof that she lost you. The fear that she's been replaced. This is her biggest nightmare. The thought that one day, she'll wake up, check your page, and see what she's been dreading. You with someone else. And the moment she sees it, it's over for her. Because now everything she took for granted, everything she assumed was hers forever, belongs to someone else. That laugh that was once just for her, now it's for another woman. Those late-night conversations, now they're shared with someone new. That love she thought she could always count on, now it's being given to someone who actually values it. And there's nothing she can do. No text she can send. No apology she can make. No way to undo the damage she caused. She had her chance, and she lost it. Realizing she will never have you again, that's when it hits her. Not just the regret, not just the pain, but the finality of it all. You're not waiting for her. You're not coming back. You're not the same person who would have dropped everything to fix things. You've evolved. You've healed. You've become someone untouchable to her. And that will haunt her forever, because now she has to live with the truth. She wasn't replaced because you found someone better. She was replaced because she stopped being the woman you needed. And that's a pain she will never recover from. 4. The unanswered apologies and the messages she'll never send. At first, she tries to fight it. She tells herself it's fine, that she's okay, that she doesn't need to say anything. But the more time passes, the heavier it gets, the weight of everything she never said, everything she should have done differently. And now it's eating her alive, because there's a part of her that still believes, if she could just talk to you, maybe she could fix this. But deep down, she knows the truth. Some things can't be undone. Typing, deleting, typing again. She picks up her phone and opens your chat. The cursor blinks. The words start forming. Hey, I just wanted to say, no, delete. I've been thinking a lot and I realize now. Delete. She types. She rewrites. She overthinks every sentence, because how do you even begin to apologize for not valuing someone until they're gone? She wants to tell you she was wrong. She wants to explain that she didn't realize what she was doing. She wants to say that she never meant to hurt you, that she thought you'd always be there, that she was stupid, so incredibly stupid to let you go. But no matter how she phrases it, nothing feels right, because she knows. There's no message in the world that can bring you back. And that realization, it's suffocating. The message. She finally sends, and your silence that follows. Eventually, she can't take it anymore. Maybe it's late at night. Maybe it's after one too many drinks. Maybe it's on a random day when the regret feels unbearable. She finally presses send. Hey, I know it's been a while, but I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I miss you. I hope you're doing okay. Then, she waits, and waits, and waits. But the reply she's hoping for never comes. Why your silence hurts more than any words could. She checks her phone obsessively, hoping for a response. She tells herself you just haven't seen it yet, that you're busy, that maybe, just maybe, you're thinking about what to say. But as the hours turn into days, she knows. You saw it, you read it, and you made a decision to say nothing. And that destroys her, because now she understands. She isn't a part of your life anymore. She isn't the person you run to, the one you confide in, the one who gets to hear your voice and feel your presence. She's nothing but a memory, a ghost from your past. And nothing is more painful than realizing you're reaching out to someone, and they simply don't care anymore. The last attempt and the coldest response of all. Days later, she tries one last time. This time, she pours it all out. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. I know I messed up. I wish I had appreciated you more. I hope one day you can forgive me. And finally, a reply. But it's not what she wanted. It's not a message filled with warmth. It's not an invitation to reconnect. It's not even anger or bitterness. It's the coldest response she could have ever received. I appreciate the message. Take care. And just like that, it's over. No back and forth. No rekindling. No second chance. Just closure. The kind that burns. the kind that can't be undone. And at that moment she realizes she waited too long. Now she has to live with that choice. 5. The sleepless nights and the regret that never fades. This is when it truly sinks in. Not just the loss, not just the silence, but the reality of what she's done. She lost you, not temporarily, not for a few weeks or months, for good. And now she has to live with it. And that's when the nights start getting longer. The loneliness that hits the hardest at night. During the day, she can distract herself. She can work, she can talk to friends, she can scroll mindlessly through her phone, pretending she's fine. But when the sun goes down, that's when the truth creeps in. That's when she remembers the nights she used to spend talking to you, the way your voice used to be the last thing she heard before falling asleep. Now, silence. Now she's lying there, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything over and over again. The conversations, the moments she brushed off, the things she should have said, the times she should have fought harder instead of walking away. And the worst part? There's nothing she can do about it now. Because regret is cruel, it lets you see exactly what you should have done differently when it's too late to change anything. The what-if spiral. This is the part where her mind turns against her. Because now she starts asking the questions that will haunt her forever. What if I had just appreciated him more? What if I had just been honest about my feelings? What if I had put in as much effort as he did? What if I hadn't pushed him away? But what if is a dangerous game. Because no matter how many times she asks, the answer will always be the same. She had her chance. She wasted it. And now, there are no second chances. The desperate search for a replacement that will always fail. At some point, she'll try to move on. Maybe she'll go out more. Maybe she'll start dating again. Maybe she'll even find someone new. But you can't replace what's one of a kind. And every time she's with someone else, she'll compare them to you. The way they talk, the way they laugh, the way they treat her, and nothing will ever measure up. Because once you lose something real, everything else feels fake. And that's when it truly hits her. She didn't just lose a person. She lost the only person who ever truly saw her. And that's the kind of regret that never fades. The moment she accepts it's too late, there comes a day when she finally stops reaching out. Not because she's healed, not because she's over it, but because she's exhausted. She's tired of checking her phone and seeing nothing. She's tired of hoping you'll respond when she knows you won't. She's tired of holding on to something that no longer exists. And that's the moment she truly breaks. Because now she has to accept the truth. You're not coming back. And the finality of that, it shatters her. Because now, no matter how much she wants to fix it, no matter how much she regrets it, there's no going back. She made a mistake. She took you for granted. She lost you. And that's a pain she will carry forever. 6. The unseen pain and the mask she wears for the world. On the outside, she looks fine. She smiles. She laughs. She posts pictures like nothing ever happened. But behind that mask, she's breaking. Because this kind of pain, it doesn't just go away, pretending she's okay but dying inside. At first, she tries to convince herself she's fine. She tells herself it wasn't that deep. She tells herself she'll move on, that she's better off without you. Maybe she even goes out more, starts talking to new people, posting things that make it seem like she's happier than ever. But deep down, she knows she's lying to herself. Because no matter what she does, no matter how much she tries to distract herself, nothing fills the emptiness you left. And pretending she's okay, that's the hardest part. Because every time someone asks if she's fine, she has to smile and say yes, when inside she's screaming. The friends who don't see the full story. Her friends tell her she'll be okay. You'll find someone better. It's his loss, not yours. You just need time. But what they don't realize, she doesn't want someone better. She doesn't care whose loss it is. And time isn't fixing anything. Because this isn't just a breakup. This is regret. And regret is a different kind of monster. It doesn't fade. It doesn't heal with time. It lingers. And the worst part? She can't talk about it. Because how do you explain to people that you lost the best thing that ever happened to you? And it was your own fault? The places that feel empty without you. There are places she can't go anymore. The coffee shop where you used to sit together. The streets where you used to walk side by side. The restaurants where you shared your favorite meals. Now they're just painful reminders of everything she threw away. Everywhere she goes, she sees memories of you. And every memory is a reminder that you're gone. And it's in those moments when she's standing in a place that once held so much meaning, now feeling nothing but emptiness, that she realizes she didn't just lose you. She lost a version of herself that only existed when she was with you. And that version of her is never coming back. The private breakdowns no one sees. She doesn't cry in front of people. She doesn't let them see the breakdowns, the nights she spends staring at the ceiling, the moments when the weight of it all becomes unbearable. But when she's alone, that's when it hits her the hardest. That's when the mask falls off. That's when the memories come flooding back. That's when she replays everything, over and over again, until she's drowning in it. And the worst part? No one knows. Because to the world, she looks fine. But in reality, she's living with a regret that will never leave her. The realization that no one will ever be you. At some point, she'll try to replace you. Maybe she'll date someone new. Maybe she'll convince herself she's ready to move on. But deep down, she knows the truth. No one will ever be you. No one will understand her the way you did. No one will make her feel the way you did. No one will ever fill the space you left. And that's the moment it truly hits her. She didn't just lose a relationship. She lost the only man who ever truly saw her. And now she has to live with the fact that she let him slip through her fingers. Forever. Sort of the haunting thought. What if he's happier without me? At first, she assumed you'd come back. Maybe not right away, but eventually. She thought you'd miss her, that you'd reach out, that this wasn't really over. But as time passes, a new fear starts creeping in. A fear worse than being ignored. A fear worse than being forgotten. What if you're happier without her? The stalking that only hurts more. She tries not to check. She tells herself not to look at your social media, not to ask mutual friends about you, not to go searching for signs that you still care. But curiosity is cruel. And one night, when the regret feels unbearable, she gives in. She opens your profile. She scrolls. And that's when she sees it. You're doing fine. Maybe you're out with friends, laughing, looking happier than ever. Maybe you've started something new, focusing on your goals, moving forward. Maybe, worst of all, you found someone else. And that destroys her. Because for the first time she realizes you didn't need her to heal. The pain of seeing you move on without her. This is the moment she understands. You're not sitting around, waiting. You're not drowning in regret. You're not replaying the past, wondering if you should reach out. You're living. And that's the most painful truth of all. Because while she's still stuck in the past, you've moved on. While she's up at 3 a.m. thinking about what she lost, you're out there creating a future that no longer includes her. And suddenly she realizes the thing she never considered before. Maybe she needed you more than you ever needed her. The spiral of self-doubt. This is when the overthinking gets worse. Because now she's not just regretting what she did. Now she's questioning everything. Was I never that important to him? Did he ever love me the way I loved him? Was I the only one suffering through this? And the scariest thought of all, what if he always deserved better? And he finally found it? That thought? That's the one that keeps her awake at night. The silent hope that you'll still come back. Even now, even after seeing you move on. Even after realizing that you don't need her anymore. A part of her still hopes. She tells herself that maybe, just maybe, one day you'll miss her. That you'll remember the good times. That you'll wake up one morning and feel the same regret she feels now. Because as long as there's hope, she doesn't have to fully let go. But hope is a dangerous thing. Because the longer she holds on to it, the longer she stays stuck in a past that no longer exists. And one day she'll have to face the hardest truth of all. You're not coming back. Not because you're angry. Not because you hate her. But because you've outgrown the version of yourself that needed her. And that's what truly breaks her. The final stage, the pain that never fully leaves. Time passes. Seasons change. People come and go. But one thing remains the same, the weight of losing you. At this point, she's no longer in denial. She's no longer checking her phone every day, hoping to hear from you. She's no longer crying herself to sleep every night. But that doesn't mean she's healed. Because some wounds, they never fully close. The memories that still haunt her. She can go weeks, maybe even months without breaking down. But then out of nowhere, something brings you back. A song, a familiar scent, a random street you once walked together, And just like that, the pain rushes in like it never left. She thought time would erase you. She thought moving forward would mean forgetting. But some people, you don't forget. Some losses, you carry forever. And you were one of those losses. The men who never measure up. She's dated other people by now. She's tried to start over, tried to love again, tried to find someone who makes her feel the way you once did. But every time, they fall short. Not because they're bad people, not because they don't try, not because they don't care, but because they're not you. They don't challenge her the way you did. They don't understand her in the way only you could. They don't make her feel the fire, the passion, the connection she once took for granted. And that's a loneliness she will never admit to anyone. The conversation she wishes she could have. If she could talk to you one last time, she knows exactly what she'd say. I was wrong. I see it now. I wish I had appreciated you when I had you. But those words, they're useless now. Because no matter how much she wants to apologize, no matter how much she wishes she could undo the past, some things can't be fixed. And the pain of knowing that, that's what will haunt her forever. The unspoken truth, she will always miss you. She'll never tell anyone. She'll never admit it. She'll never let the world see how deeply she still feels it. But in the quiet moments when no one is watching, she still misses you. Not just the memories, not just the good times, not just the way things used to be. She misses you. Your presence, your energy, the way you made her feel safe in a world that now feels cold. And the most heartbreaking part? She knows she will always miss you. Because you weren't just someone she loved. You were the one she lost and can never get back. The last thought that will stay with her forever. Maybe she will find happiness again one day. Maybe she will learn to live with the regret. Maybe she will even tell herself she has moved on. But no matter how much time passes, there will always be nights when she lies awake, staring at the ceiling, whispering the same question over and over again. What if I had just loved him right? And that will always be the hardest truth to live with. If this message hit you deep, if you know this feeling, if you've ever been on either side of this story, drop a comment below. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Hit the like button to let the world know this message matters. And subscribe for more powerful insights, more hard truths, and more wisdom that will change the way you see life. Because sometimes, the lessons that hurt the most are the ones that shape us the most.